G'day and hello beautiful people, it is Mimo here. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, afternoon, evening, night, no matter the time wherever you are. Hope life is treating you well. Let's talk about the Telltale series The Walking Dead for a second and the mystery of the ranch. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because, as we all know, currently the final season of The Walking Dead is cancelled. So we got the first 2 episodes, but we are missing episode 3 and 4, which means the story is unfinished, and there are a few things, or a few questions that are going to be left unanswered, essentially, and the ranch mystery is one of them. Now, we all know that AJ went to the ranch. They, essentially, David Dr. Lingard, AJ, and said, you know, take care of this after he survived being very, very ill, where Clementine either gave him the medicine or didn't give him the medicine. I personally gave him the medicine. Who didn't give AJ the medicine? Everyone gave AJ the medicine. His likelihood of surviving was very low, and that was seen as a wastage of resources of medicine, and she was expelled for that reason. And like I said, he miraculously survived. That kid is a damn fighter, we all know that, and he survived. I would have put my money on him surviving, honestly. I definitely would have, and that's why I gave him the medicine, because I had my money was definitely on him surviving, and he did. And like I said, David gave Dr. Lingard AJ, who was then sent to the McCarroll ranch. Now, we don't know too much about this ranch, and it started within the episode 1 and 2, it started to get addressed. Now, in episode 1, if you remember, AJ and Clementine were talking in the room about how the ranch was good and it was safe, so it was good for him, and that's why he was sent there. It was a safe place that was from the Richmond community, and all the expectations and the resources, like, you had to be worthy of those resources. So that was a way in that, and it was a safe place where he was able to be taken care of, essentially. And he talks about that in the room. The ranch was good until the blood came, and that's what we're never going to really know, is what the blood means. Is that, you know, Clem brought the, you know, blood, she rained down the savageness on them to get to AJ? Or is it the fact that Richmond fell and that just sort of, the domino effect happened, and then the McCarroll farm started to fall as well? Once Richmond's walls was breached, did a similar thing happen there? And these are things we just never going to really know. Look, I cannot answer those. We can sort of elaborate on what maybe would have happened. And I think these are answers that would have been addressed within episode 3 and 4. And the reasoning for that is they were starting to address it in episode 1 when they were talking about in the room. And then episode 2 where, of course, Clementine had that cryptic dream with the horse and the red blood, and it all started to make sense. And they talked about the ranch, and you're still having that same nightmare. So they were starting to address that story, and I have no doubt there was going to be a throwback to how she met up with AJ, how she got him out there, and what went down. And the unfortunate part is, we're not going to know that. We're not going to know what went down, and it really annoys me because I have a lot of, you know, questions I want answered about the ranch situation and what went down. I really want to know whether sort of Clementine brought that savageness and that blood in regards to rescuing AJ, or whether that sort of blood was created without her and she was there to rescue him. I would really like to know what went down, probably like everyone out there. So like I said, we sort of see them talking about it in episode 1 and stating it was a good, a safe place. So in a way, David had done them a favour by giving, or Lingard, you could almost say, had done them a favour by sending AJ to the McCarroll ranch. And I think we could all agree that Clementine just adores this kid and loves him very, very deeply. So the fact to me is, I don't think she would rain down the blood unless it was necessary. Like, if that was a safe place for him and he was happy there, I highly doubt Clementine was going to come storming in and blowing people to pieces trying to get AJ back. It was her desire to sort of get him back. And I think if there was resistance from the people at the McCarroll ranch in her attempts to be with AJ or to get AJ back, then I have no doubt that she would have come in flying, essentially. But my concern is, was it a resistance from the people there, or when she arrived, was it already in chaos? Or had the walls been breached? were the walkers in? Was it human-related conflict? You know, what sort of conflict was there before she arrived? Or was she the conflict? Did she bring that blood sort of, or bring them that issue to the ranch? And, you know, I like to think to myself that Clementine wouldn't have created the conflict, as in she went there and demanded AJ and they were like, you know, no, you have to kill us for it. I don't think that's the way I see it. I think honestly that there was probably an issue and a conflict within the ranch to begin with. What it was, I don't know. If we've learned anything from the Walking Dead series, is that everything's not as it seems. So while it might have been safe and happy, behind closed doors there may have been some action or some, you know, dirtiness in there, and something iffy was happening. Something iffy possibly could have been happening, and Clementine saw that and then, you know, brought on the red. Naturally, in her dream, it alluded to that chaos. You saw that with the red and the horse going, and just that fear factor. It alluded to chaos and concern for AJ's safety, and that's what makes me think that something went wrong at the ranch, rather than Clementine come in and just started blowing people's heads off to get to AJ. I highly doubt she would do that unless he was in danger. And it's what sort of danger he was in and what was happening at that ranch we're never really going to find out. It's disappointing. I'm still hoping. There's a huge part of me that is still hoping that they finish episode 3 and 4. I mean, did Clementine stay at the ranch for a while and then something happened? Like, there's just all these questions I just keep running over in my mind. Why didn't she go back to Richmond now that Javier was in control and so forth? Like, there was just so many options that could have happened and so many alternatives that could have been within this ranch story, and they were alluding to this within the first 2 episodes, so they were definitely going to revisit the memory, and they were going to go through what happened at the ranch through a flashback, and we're going to not be able to see that, so we're not going to know exactly what happened. We're not going to know how the blood happened, how the conflict happened. We're not going to know the horror story behind it, because this is giving Clem nightmares. So there is a horrific story behind it. Was she there for a while and then something twisted started to happen and she had to get AJ out? You know, there's just so many unanswered questions. But let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on the ranch? And as always, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and always remember how awesome you are.
Days of night, when the world is getting darker, I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows.